up guys, this is Krusor. So today I will showcase two games that I played in my last locals and give some commentary and thoughts about my playing during those games. I'm using this list at the moment, sticking with the double free cost Zoro 4x Zoro Euro package. I think it's very strong. To go beer Luffy into double Zoro Euro the turn after is something that comes up a lot and creates a very large board and generates a lot of cards in hand. I'm trying out a triple blocker 2x split at the moment. I feel like all of these blockers have their own use. I'm having a hard time choosing between them, so at the moment I'm just playing all of them to see how it feels. From the local I played, it feels a bit inconsistent. I'm thinking of just cutting down on the loss and playing 4x Onami instead, but I'll give this list some more time before I make a decision. So let's get into the games. So first of all, we got a Marco matchup. I won die roll, so I got to go first. I think this matchup can be pretty hard for Black Purple since they have the 7-cost Newgate, which in combination with leader skill gets rid of our 7k bodies pretty easily. So I was very happy to win die roll. I think it's very great to have your own curve and also put them off the curve. So we start off by playing a free cost Zoro ramping, and I'm thinking about if I just swing here. I'm not sure if you place the animal package, but like in bigger tournaments I think it makes sense to always play around it, at least on the second turn. And then afterwards you can probably start swinging. So they go leader skill, put a card on top, swing 6, which I will take. And then they go free for a Ivankov, plays out the Monet and passes. So here we are at 6 don. And if I can remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I have a beer Luffy in hand already. But I'm not too inclined to play it out this early because it just gets removed so easily, so I'm opting to go for building a wider board here. It's ramping again with another Zoro and playing Zoro Euro. And with the Zoro Euro I'm gonna pick out a Lightning, which I feel like could be very valuable in this matchup. They have a lot of small bodies which the Lightning can hit. For example, if you just place another Ivankov this turn, I would be happy to get rid of it with the Lightning. So Marco player goes leader skill here yet again. Draws 1 and thinking about which card to put. He puts a card on the bottom and gives minus to the Zoro. He goes Nami here to draw 3. So looking at this board state, like even just popping this Nami with the Lightning that I picked up seems very valuable already. So he goes Nami and puts 2 cards on the bottom of his deck, so it's safe to assume that his hand is a lot of cards with counter already, I'm guessing. Oh, and he swings here, he has too many cards in hand, so he doesn't get to draw here. We let the Zoro go, and then 60 leader we take. So here we are at 9 don since we ramped twice already. And we have a very good turn here with the Lightning to pop the Nami. And then we still have 8 don left, so a Sanji to rest the Monet will completely clear his board and leave us with a pretty large board ourselves. So we swing into the Monet, we swing into the Ivankov. And we go 6 at lead. I'm not sure if I had a giant here, but if I did, maybe it was wise to just keep a don up. In case of him like swinging into Sanji, giving it power reduce and swinging into it, could be valuable to have the giant around to defend it. Because we're still at 8 don this turn, so to go don -2 wouldn't be the end of the world. So in these last 2 turns, I did have a beer Luffy still, but as you see, you don't really have to rely on the beer Luffy always. The deck still has a lot of good plays that it can do. So he goes Honest Impact here and swings into the Sanji, which is a 3k body, then plays the blocker. So I guess if I did have Giant, maybe it would have been good to keep the Dons up. I would probably use Giant here if I had Don active. They play a blocker and passes. We go Search Event, pick up on a 2k. So we will go 7 with the Zoro. We're putting on a lot of pressure. He's already at 2 life and doesn't really have a board except for the blocker. So I think we're in a pretty good spot here. So they counter the 7k swing, and I'll play the beer Luffy and swing a 8, which they block, and then we'll pass. So now, even if they clear if they go new gate, which they do, to clear the beer Luffy, we still at least have one body on board. Just playing a single body a turn against Marco is not really the way to go, I feel like, since they can get rid of it so easily with their events and stuff. And yeah, here they go 9 to the Zoro. And I'm thinking for a while here, but yeah, we do go Giant and toss a beer Luffy and a 1k. I think I have another beer Luffy in hand, so keeping the Zoro around actually represents a lot of damage, since we will have so many dons left over to attach to it. And here we actually go 2 for a Gamma Knife, reduce the power of the new gate. Him having that on board just makes it very hard for us to redevelop board, so getting rid of it forces him to have another one, and if he has another one, he still has to spend 7 dons to play it, which limits his plays further. So I'm just thinking about here how I want to swing. I'm gonna be playing another beer Luffy here, and the new gate is currently 3k power. So I decided to swing 6 into it, since then it requires 2 2ks if he wants to defend it. And now that I play the beer Luffy and swing 8 at leader, it also requires 2 2ks. Oh, we go 9 actually. Guess I don't have another giant. So Marco goes leader skill, puts a card on the bottom, gives minus to the beer Luffy, and then he goes 7 for another new gate. So a little bit rough that he gets to clear that. Don't have that many cards left in hand. I think I have like 4 cards in hand at the moment. And now he even goes Monet to further decrease the Zoro's power. Yeah, so here it goes 9 into the Zoro. And I'm giving it some time here, since I have the Restant Luffy in hand. So I could actually defend this and try to go for a lethal the next turn. Swinging like 5 with the Zoro, and 7 with leader, and double 8 with the Restant Luffy. Our opponent has 4 cards in hand, so it's not really guaranteed. It would come down to the last life, since like he gives 1k for 5k swing, and then it goes 2 cards for 7k, he has one card left in hand, takes the 8, and then if the last card is a 2k, it's not really guaranteed. So I was thinking for a long time here, since we're not really in the threat of dying at the same time. We have 2 life, they don't really have that big of a board, and they only have 1 life. And with triple 2k in hand, we are pretty healthy. So I was thinking if I need to do the gamble to go for lethal, but I decided not to in the end. So here I'm thinking our opponent is at 1 life. We are probably not dying next turn, so I just want to be able to set up for lethal the turn after. And how can I do that in the best way? Earlier we pitched a beer Luffy with Giant. I wonder if that was a mistake, because just playing a beer Luffy here would be a pretty good play, since then again we're at 0 risk of dying. We're gonna be putting him down to 0 life, and but we do have the Restant Luffy, as I mentioned. So here I'm just thinking I want to put him down to 0, so we go 7 to leader with leader skill. So my reasoning for going Restand effect here is I had 4 2ks in hand, so if we see a card with counter, he won't be able to go for lethal even with the Monet. Like say he goes 9 with the new gate, I can counter with 2 2ks and a 1k, and then we would have 2 2ks still left in hand. So then his best swings are attach 5 to the Monet, swing 8, and then attach 4 to leader and swing 9. And since we have 2 2ks already, we could just counter the 8 and live that way. But if the card in life was a brick, I would have to swing into the Monet, since then his best chance at going for lethal is to swing 11 12. And 11 12 we can also counter with 4 2ks already in hand. So I did this play knowing that I had these 2 different routes to go on with. He countered the first 7k swing. He took the second one. And I'm pretty sure I didn't even have a giant in hand, so I just went 8 here to force the maximum cards out of hand. And he did have 2 2ks. So now we put our opponent in a pretty awkward spot. We have 5 cards in hand and 1 life. And they can't really... They know we searched an Usachi earlier, so they know we have that. So they can't really play a single blocker as well. So their best shot here is to go for lethal, and like me doing a play like this is kind of telling him I have the counter. So now they either have to just... they have to either find the double blocker or they have to just call the bluff. And they decided to go for calling the bluff, so they went 11 to leader, which I take, leaving them with 4 down left. And they go 12 with the new gate. And we have a lot of counter. One small thing to note is that I should probably have kept 1 Don open still, because we could have gotten punished by 4-cost pudding, and then it would have been clutch to have a Don left, just in case we draw a giant off of that. But it was a good game, a very close one. So the next game is a match against green-yellow law. I think we won die roll here as well, so I went first. And we start with a searcher. We pick up a Sorayuro with searcher and pass. Earlier, when I played this matchup, I usually picked second, just so they couldn't go Bonnie to freeze a Don when we go to 6. But nowadays I don't really care if they do that. I don't mind dropping the beer Luffy 1 turn later. Since I played the Sorayuro and lightning stuff, we have a lot of good plays to do on 5 Don as well. They go search plus Bonnie, we have the Zoro, and I swing 6 at leader, which they take, and then I search again. Pick up a lightning. I figured this card would be great in this matchup, since they have a lot of 6k bodies. The only punish is if they have Beige, which puts a KO'd character on top of the life instead of being KO'd. So our opponent here goes 3-cost Bonnie and puts a Law on top of life, goes leader effect. Picks up the Luffy and plays out the Law, picks up the Bonnie, and he does have the Beige here. So a little bit awkward now that we have the lightning. He swings 6 at leader and we take. So on this turn I think a good play would have been to just go lightning on the Beige and play out a Sorayuro, which I had in hand. But instead I do just slam down the beer Luffy with no effect and swing 6 at leader. So doing this is kind of playing into the 5-cost Bonnie, since we don't really get to buff leader this turn anyways. And then next turn when we swing with it, it will be rested, so we can just play Bonnie to freeze it and we won't be able to buff our leader again. But if we instead played Sorayuro and lightning this turn and dropped the beer Luffy the turn after, we would be 7k that turn, and then we would guarantee to be able to swing with it the turn after. So we guarantee 2 turns in a row with 7k leader. And I think this was a big mistake on my part, since I didn't have another beer Luffy in hand at this moment. I probably should have played around the 5-cost Bonnie. But our opponent here goes search and picks up a Cavendish. Plays out the Cavendish and puts a Don on leader. They swing 6 into the Zoro, which I let go. And they go 7 to leader, which I take. Then they blind flip leader skill, and they actually see a 5-cost Bonnie here, which they play out. So a bit lucky, but not the end of the world, since we didn't really have any targets, any characters that he could freeze. So here we tap 4, play out a Sorayuro. Since we have the beer Luffy on board, I can still go double Sorayuro this turn, even though he throws a Don. So we play the Sorayuro, we swing 7 with the beer Luffy, and restand 1, so we have 4 active again. They block the 7k, I go another 7 with leader. they counter the 7k out, and we play another Sorayuro. I'm pretty happy to see him countering like this, since 8 cost kid is like the main concern for this matchup. So him giving cards is pretty good for us. And we play another Sorayuro and we pick up a restand Luffy. So we have quite a few bricks in hand already. We've searched a restand Luffy, a giant, a thunder. So 3 cards in the hand at the moment with no counter, which is a bit scary. Our opponent here searches a 8 cost kid. 1 turn too late, since now he can't really play it out this turn. He's at 8 on with 1 rested. He does have a Cavendish on board, but if he swings with Cavendish now, he's only at 8 on, so you can't really have a Don attached to it, to the 8 cost kid. But it's still threatening to see him just have it in hand. So opponent goes 1 Don under leader. I'm thinking here that he needs to either clear the Luffy by swinging into it or play a 5 cost pony. Opponent goes leader skill, picks up a 1 cost Luffy and flips the last life, which is a beige blocker. And then he goes 5 cost pony to freeze the Luffy. Attaches a Don to Cavendish, swings 7 at leader. I will take the 7. He goes another 7 at leader, which I counter with a 2k, and then a last 7k swing, which I also counter with a 2k. And then he passes. So here is like a consequence of what I talked about earlier. Now our beer Luffy is frozen and I don't have another one in hand. I do have lethal options here. I do have a 7 cost Sanji plus the lightning from earlier in hand. So I could try for lethal here to go lightning on the beige and then 7 cost Sanji to rest the law. I know 2 cards in my opponent's hand at this point. We know the 8 cost kid and the 1 cost Luffy that he bounced earlier. Maybe more cards, I can't remember exactly. And I think those odds would have been pretty good looking back. We have to go 8 on for Sanji plus lightning, so we can swing like triple 7k and 1 5k. But I don't know, I'm kind of I don't really like going for lethal unless it's guaranteed. So instead I do go for the gamble here and try to find another beer Luffy. So we search with the vent and pick up a 2k. And I search with the law here. And we do find a beer Luffy, so this play kind of worked out in the end. So we're left with 8 Don here. And here I do the mistake of attaching a Don to Sorayuro, swinging 7 at leader. So now we have 7 Dons left, so when we play the beer Luffy we will have 2 Dons left standing. Which 2 Dons active equals Hovde Jones is bad. So if I didn't attach a Don here, I could still play the beer Luffy and have 3 Dons active, so we play around Hovde. Because I think if we just survive another turn, we are in a pretty good spot. Like even if he plays 8 cost kid, doesn't really have that many cards in hand, and if I remember correctly, I think we have a Gamma Knife. So this 7k was pretty bad for me. I didn't really think about my Don count beforehand. He goes 2k 1k on the 7k swing. And here I'm realizing what I've just done. So I'm kind of panicking a bit, realizing that Hovde Jones is a card. I didn't play around it. But, and as you know from earlier, I picked up, I have a lightning in hand, I have a restand Luffy in hand, I have a giant in hand, so that's 3 bricks already. And I swing 8, which he blocks. I figured there's no point in leaving 2 Dons open. 1 equals 2 in this scenario, where Hovde Jones exists. So I'm just praying, please no Hovde. But of course, there's the Hovde. And he rests our Don. And takes a life. Then they go 7 with Cavendish to restand 2. And I counter that with the Sanji. They go another 7, which I counter with a 2k. Another 7, which I counter with a 2k. So I have 4 cards left here, and my opponent should probably know 3 of them. Restand Luffy, Giant, and Thunder. And the last card is a brick. and we see a 2k from life. So if I just wouldn't be stupid and attach a Don to the Sorcery area, I think we would definitely live and be able to go for lethal the turn after. Like, even if you went 8-cost Kid, we are so ahead on board, I don't really feel like it would have been that big of a threat. We can just poke 8Ks at it and be fine, but we didn't. So I guess that's a lesson learned. Always play around Hody, and also on 6 Don against Green Yellow Law, you don't really have to slam down the Beardify, and it could be good to wait a turn to play it. But that's it for this video. A little bit of a different video this time. I'm thinking of doing some more locals gameplay, so let me know if you are interested in that. And please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.